Um, I'm a social scientist, and I have worked with all technologies, starting with radio and television in the 70s to internet and to mobile learning and mobile applications today. And my work has not been only in India, it has been in the Asia-Pacific region, in teaching, research, evaluation, and as a practitioner. So I'm drawing upon that many years of experience, and also the more recent experience of the Asia-Pacific to draw attention to some of the issues that I consider very pertinent to this session. First of all, I have a great deal of discomfort with the term economic, because transformation is not merely about economic transformation. I believe transformation is a wider term, and economics is but one subset or subpart of it. And so I would like to look at the internet and what this means in terms of transformation, particularly in the Asia-Pacific world. I'm equally uncomfortable with terms like emerging, developing, third world, aspiring nations. I don't know what we're emerging from. I don't know what we're developing toward. I don't know why we are called the third world. And I don't know what we're aspiring toward. So I'm very uncomfortable with these terms. So I will try not to use them. What I'm trying basically to say is, what I have seen over the years is that older technologies such as television opened a window to the world. The internet is a game changer. It has opened a window to opportunities that people can use. I'll give you three very small cameos, which I have done through research. A young woman studying in a government school, learning English the hard way, finishes school on a scholarship, graduates on a scholarship, learns the ropes in an Indian call center, and now works for a multinational call center, earning 10 times as much as her father used to earn, hardly 5 years ago. Another young girl provides virtual executive assistant services to people in the US or UK. A third young woman, also emerging from what we call a first generation literate family, today provides online tutoring in mathematics and science to students in the US. A group of illiterate or semi-literate women in a rural area in Haryana provide call center services to the rest of the country. Why did I choose women's cases? I chose these cases because the transformation is most visible here. They have pulled themselves and their families out of poverty. They have enabled the education of their siblings. The young woman who provides online tutoring is now doing her master's and is likely to get a job even before she finishes it. What made this possible? What made this possible in countries like China, India, and the Philippines was essentially enabling and proactive legislation, deregulation, backed by other supports such as easy access to microfinance and to credit for startups and for small industries. It also led to an investment in education, not just in basic ICT literacy, but also in the specialized skills that are needed in order to run an IT-enabled services industry. Perhaps which is why 32 to 35% of ITES services are located in India. These are World Bank facts. And 52% or more of the IT consulting and R&D is located between the cities of Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, and Delhi. The point, however, is that India and China benefit from what we call the economies of scale. For us, 1 million is a small number. And therefore, we are able to provide opportunities at the same cost to a larger number of people. Infrastructure has certain fixed costs. It doesn't drop down below that. If more people benefit, your per unit cost comes down. But what I've seen in the Asia Pacific is that countries like Maldives, countries like Fiji, countries like Mongolia, Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, and several others, suffer from what we might call the diseconomies of scale. Small populations, sparsely populated, and therefore find it very difficult to get the economic resources needed to put the infrastructure and put the investments in place. So how does one address this diseconomies of scale? When we look at worldwide examples, we find that in the East Caribbean, the smaller leeward countries came together in order to break the monopoly of cable and wireless, so that they increased the size of the domestic market by coming together in a common market. We find that islands like Cape Verde, where they have very small populations, led transformation by behavior change rather than by technological determinism. And so therefore we find a variety of examples where the transformation is taking place. Fiji got its fiber optic not because it was particularly politically significant, but because, to put it bluntly, the Americans needed a junction point for the fiber optic cables running through the South Pacific, through their own territories. And that's as important as anything else. But when I say all of this about the transformative power of the internet, I would also like to draw your attention as a social scientist to the downsides. Some things that we're seeing that are very, very disturbing to us. While there are changes in economics and more people are living better, there are changes in physical illnesses that are related to what we call computer-related injuries, hearing impairments. We're finding lifestyle diseases of diabetes, stress in these working conditions much more. We're finding changes in the family structure and patterns of communication that used to take place in the authority structures in a home. These are all being challenged. More important, we're finding changes in the cognitive styles of how children learn and how children pay attention. The attention span of a 10-year-old child has come down to less than 3 minutes. So how do you teach a child mathematics in an attention span of 3 minutes? These are very serious concerns we are facing. And so what is missing then? I think in order for us to understand the real transformative impact of the internet, which is visible, but is not documented by very, very solid on-the-ground research. And I think it is imperative upon all of us to get that research, to validate whatever it is that we are trying to say from solid research rather than anecdotal evidence of the kind that I have given you this morning. Thank you.